What happened? Give me a for instance. I want to know.
I'm turning red. I'm so embarrassed.
No, don't be embarrassed. Come on, share. Why not? We have to discuss these things.
Let's just say I was with somebody once and I saw a transformation that I can't explain.
The person transformed into something other than human.
Yes, I saw it.
Were you on drugs?
I was not. I was totally sober.
Wow.
You were talking with. I'm asking you some questions. If you were talking to someone,
yes,
and you're having a conversation
yes,
like we are now, this close, and the person suddenly, not in a hallucination, they said to you, "Look, something's going to happen here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to morph into something else," and you're like, "This is ridiculous."
That's not how it happened.
Give me a please. I want to see this.
Imagine you're doing something and suddenly you turn around and there's somebody else standing there.
A different human.
Sorta. It's hard to explain without going to detail. I'd rather not go into details.
Okay, but did you say to the person, "What'd you just do here?" That's
yes,
not you.
And they acknowledged it.
And what did they say they were? From another planet?
They wouldn't explain.
Why not?
Again, without telling the story, it's a really messed up story.
A famous person?
No.
Good. Why is that famous? By the way,
why is that good?
Why didn't you put him on wrestling?
Believe it or not, they're actually a voting member of the Rock and Roll Academy.
Is that true?
I'm just.
It's Jan Wenner, isn't it?
But when you say they transformed into someone else or something
Billy,
else,
I've had that happen.
I'm being vague on purpose.
I was with a woman once. She took her makeup off. I didn't know who the fuck she was. I'm telling you, she totally tricked me. You talk about something like that, that's a different story. Wow. I mean,
it's up there with one of the most intense things I've ever been through. I will tell you the story.
You will?
Yeah. And I will say...
Go ahead.
Since we're on radio.
Thank you.
That the story is even more fantastical than you think.
Wow.
Can you give us something?
I'm going to tell you in private.
Billy, just give me something. Please, I want to make news again with you. Just give me some element of it to tickle me, to get me ready. If this was a movie trailer, when you saw the shapeshifter, something.
The person was naked.
A man?
The person was naked.
Big cock? How many inches? I hope it was a woman. Wait a second. Were you in bed with the shapeshifter? Were you making love?
I'll tell you in confidence.
Holy mackerel. Now I'm with you. It was a woman. You made love to her.
Haven't we all experienced this?
Did you? Oh, believe me, I've been with people who shapeshifted, right? But their personalities, they were completely different people before and after. Are you saying it was a lover who actually shapeshifted?
I can no longer discuss this.
All right. Wow. Who do you think it is, James? You would know if you give me a guess. Who do you think it is?
I have no idea.
Should we commit him?
Wait, my friend, you made major news the last time you were here. Did you realize that?
About the alien, the shapeshifter.
Dude, you dropped a bombshell. Every paper picked it up.
Let's just say I was with somebody once and I saw a transformation that I can't explain.
The person transformed into something other than human.
Yes, I saw it.
You were talking to someone. They said to you, "Look, something's going to happen here. I'm going to morph into something else."
Imagine you're doing something and suddenly you turn around and there's somebody else standing there.
You still standing by it?
Absolutely. I know it happened. In fact, it happened twice. And on top of that, what's amazing is we live in a world where, look, I've been in public life on some level for 30 years.
Yep.
People treat it as if I'm
crazy.
No, but I saw what I saw.
You made love to her.
We all experienced this.
Did you? Oh, believe me, I've been with people who shapeshifted. Right?
Because I read this and I was like, what?
Here we go.
You saw someone shapeshift?
Oh, God.
Is that real, or were you fucking with people?
No, it's true.
Really?
That's true.
Because when you told me that you enjoy Kaufman-like moments, I was like, okay.
No, it's true. I would tell you off grid, but I won't say it publicly.
Really?
The only way I'd say it publicly is if I write it in. I've been writing this book for years, and it's in the book.
Really?
So I'd tell you off grid, but I can't. Look, I know Alex Jones sat in the seat, right? I know you've been on InfoWars. I've been on, there's
Have you been on InfoWars too?
3 or 4 times. Yeah.
Stop so I can hear your shapeshifter story. I want to hear that, man.
It's let's put it this way. It's pretty wild.
I believe you. I just wish I'd tell other people.
I will.
Former presidential candidate Hillary Clinton has had a long history with strange events and glitches. One of them is the picture caught of one of her events where people pointed out that the Grim Reaper was sitting in the crowd. Other times, her eyes usually glitch in all kinds of weird forms. And also, there is a video where she's seen spitting something weird in a glass of water at a rally in Cleveland. Whatever the case was, we can all agree that these strange events, if true, might be leading to something more dark, sinister around the globe. Another example is a speech made by former President Barack Obama. This is a famous video where you can see one of his bodyguards acting strange, moving around non-stop. As he is being filmed live, he seems to shapeshift into former reptilian form. There has always been talk of president bodyguards being superhuman or even from alien origin, but this is a very interesting video, so check it out. Another interesting subject is when people on live TV, especially news anchors, glitch every once in a while. Strange events take place so rapidly that you gotta really pay attention to it or it will slip by. In this video, you can see the eyes of a news reporter strangely glitch as he blinks. This seems to be always the case when these entities blink. Their supposedly holographic technologies seems to have a little glitch here and there, showing us that even alien technology might not be perfect at all. This next video of Michelle Obama was used as well to claim that these alien entities rule us all. When she sticks her tongue out, it seems to be strangely longer than usual, and also it moves in a weird pattern, kinda like what you would think a reptilian would. If you look and study closely, reptiles here on Earth would do these kind of movements with their tongues. It's very interesting indeed to study closer and take a second look at this video. Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth has also been associated with a world order of alien entities. Many videos exist around showing her glitching and also other strange events surrounding her. In this video you can see that she looks up, and as she looks up her eyes looks very strange, kinda like if they were bloodshot. Usually reptilians caught on camera sometimes will show a set of strange teeth as well, but I must say that the eyes are the most interesting of them all. Your eyes are the windows to the soul, and if these are indeed real eyes from alien entities, then you can only imagine what kind of souls these beings have. Celebrities always have also been associated with reptilian beings. There are a lot of videos out there from different celebrities, from Rihanna to Miley Cyrus. Lots of strange videos of interviews exist, showing mainly their eyes glitching and changing into a reptilian shape for a few seconds, if not less. You can imagine that if a more advanced extraterrestrial race was here, they would totally hide from us, and due to our advanced technologies, they could totally fool us and use us for the sinister agendas by using holographic costumes, so pay close attention to these videos. Another example, but this time is Katy Perry. Her eyes seem to do the exact same thing during an interview. Pay close attention to it. And also Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus is famous for her strange behaviors, but also because her eyes seem to glitch often while she's being interviewed for different shows. Pay close attention to these clips. Reptilian smile. Reptilian smiles is another topic mentioned earlier. In this clip, you can see Lee Rosenberg's strange smile was caught on tape as he was speaking at a conference. Lee has always been associated with aliens and has been said to be an alien in disguise. So pay close attention and you be the judge.
Kind of a reptilian side of our brain. There's still kind of a reptilian side of our brain.
I like to eat people from other planets, especially y'all.
There's still kind of a reptilian side of our brain.
Taste it. My babies! Well, maybe if you didn't make your babies so delicious, Dracula wouldn't have had to eat them. Ah! Ah! Ah!
There's still kind of a reptilian side of our brain.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. As you say. As you say.
Are the allegations true that you're secretly a lizard?
Reptilian talks about religion.
I don't do it through debates. I don't need to debate any Christian. I was a Christian. I am a Muslim. If you want, I can give you both sides. Easy. But he will ask you if you delivered the message. I'll play both parts. I'll be the Christian and tell you this, and then I'll be the Muslim and give the answer. You were at a place and you saw somebody change their religion to another religion in the temple of that religion, and the father was the priest there. What would you think?
I'm going to start this out is tell you about a friend of mine, an old friend of mine, that was part of a black ops group for the United States government that would travel around the world and create chaos and stop chaos. He once told me that at any given time, there's 100 skirmishes or small wars, as they call them, around the world. Most of these wars and skirmishes, the regular normal person walking the streets in America would know about. It's not publicized. They're kept hidden for the most part. Some of them, he said, he would include assassinations. He would include, drug wars between drug lords, any type of contact, any type of conflict that would be in countries where they were involved. There's maybe black ops from other countries like England, France, and there's quite a few of them. Russia has them. They go around and just cause havoc. Okay. So, of course, now we're in a large conflict. Obviously it's a war. I mean, it's not a world war yet, but it's a local, regional war, and it's pretty horrific. Let's face it. So this terrorism, because wars are terrorism, conflicts are terrorism, affect a lot of people. Not only do they affect the people that are, right there, getting bombed or getting killed or shot or blown up or whatever, it affects people farther away. It affects people in the next country over. It affects people, around the other side of the world, because we live in an age where we have weapons that within hours could basically destroy the world. Going back many years ago, that wasn't the case, but now it is. So it is an issue, a bigger issue, and the degree of terrorism that a small war creates for the rest of the world is pretty amazing, especially if it's between people, between governments that have horrific weapons, which obviously China, Russia, United States, the UK, Israel, to name a few. There's a few other ones too. India, Pakistan, they all have nuclear weapons that, of course, are very dangerous and cause a deal of terror in the hearts of everybody. So they create this, and what I want to say is about the terror, they create this negative energy that is given off. When you feel fear, there's this energy that's giving off, okay? And so guess who loves that energy? Guess who loves to absorb and take in that energy? Reptilian beings. Yes, reptilian beings. So let's go back for a minute to my buddy, the Black Ops guy, okay? He would have a bag that was always packed next to him, next to his bed. It had everything in it, weapons, clothes, little packs of food, things like, just so he could survive, basically. And he would be on just a minute's notice. They would call him. He said he had special text equipment that could be, globally text, that he had to be at a certain place at a certain time. And typically it would be an airport close to where he lived. They knew exactly how to get him there. He had to live within about 10 minutes max of this airport. And there was a small airport that they'd bring in like a small Learjet or something. And he'd jump in there and they'd fly him anywhere in the world. And he would, do his clandestine missions that way. So he said over the years, after doing this for many years, and I have to tell you, I could probably do several videos on just him alone. He's a pretty amazing guy. But he said one of the things he did notice is that kind of in the edges, let's just say, of what's happening, the action, he would notice these beings. And he said they look reptilian to him. They look big. Most of them were big. Some of them weren't. But there were entities that, obviously had arms and legs and stood up and walked around, and they would be just kind of watching, sitting there, standing there, whatever. Didn't seem to be getting involved directly, but kind of indirectly involved. And for many years, he didn't really make much of it. His mission was there. He had to do his mission, and he was not overly concerned. But one day he did ask one of his peers and said, "Hey, what are these creatures that, occasionally I've seen?" And he said, "Oh, they're always around. Sometimes they get a little too damn close, though. It really, really bothers us. We don't normally bother as long as they don't start interfering. We just kind of leave them alone, and they don't seem to bother us or bother our mission at all." And it was weird about that conversation that I just shared with you. He didn't blink an eyelash when he told me. He was just as serious as he always is when he tells me this stuff. He just didn't think that, he knew I was into a lot of stuff, right? But he just, I guess I would have thought he was, waiting for my head to spin off or something when he told me this, so. But, you know, it's always been my beliefs from many, many years ago that there are these groups of reptilians and maybe other groups of aliens that are here basically to harvest our negative energy, or our low levels of energy, or low energy, as I call it, not high energy, but low energy. And that's what we generate when we are under fear and, you know, terrorized, etc. Sometimes just before we die, we give off a tremendous amount of this fear. So anyways, you know, I believe very strongly that one of the reasons we're visited by reptilians is for this energy that we give off, this very negative energy. You know, I believe this for years, and I call it this powerful emotional energy. And the more volatile it is, the more violent it is. This is the maximum food source for these types of beings. So the more conflict there is around the world, and the bigger the conflict is, the happier these beings are. Now, I also believe it's very possible, I have no proof of this exactly, that they have the ability to control humans, control leaders, to do their bidding.
And how do we build back better? Because it's not about return to yesterday. There is no return to yesterday.
Many challenges New Zealand already faced. This is our opportunity.
An unprecedented opportunity. This is our chance
to really build back better.
This is our moment to change the future for the better. We can't afford to miss it, because this window of opportunity won't be open for long.
We have a golden opportunity. We have a unique but rapidly shrinking window of opportunity to learn lessons and reset ourselves.
So let's use this window of opportunity and let's recreate a global framework which really is in line with the requirements of a society in the 21st century.
An opportunity for a reset.
The Great Reset.
It's now a historical moment, a crucial moment to rebuild the future.
It is imperative that we reimagine, rebuild, redesign, reinvigorate, and rebalance our world.
Building back better.
Hopefully we can just work on what we say, building back better.
I like to say build back better.
We must first pass the budget resolution so that we can then pass the president's Build Back Better agenda.
My Build Back Better agenda? We must build back better.
We're going to build it back better.
Build it back better.
Building back better.
Build back better.
Build back better.
We've watched our globalist leaders manipulate us with the Marxist revolutionary technique known as the Hegelian dialectic. It's a very complicated philosophical thing, but it can actually be salted down to about 3 points. And that is called problem, reaction, solution.
More intimately, even to address the full Obama agenda of building back better.
And former President Barack Obama says he tested positive for COVID-19. Obama says he had a scratchy throat for a couple days, but he is feeling fine. His wife, Michelle, has tested negative for the virus. And Obama says this should serve as a reminder for people to get vaccinated even as cases go down.
Get vaccinated. Don't pay a cent.
Now, do you wish like you had a third term? And I used to say, you know what, if I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony. I'd be fine with that.
Really showing themselves to do really well. Come on, man.